All right, guys. Three different types of pastas we do at the restaurant. So pasta one is 100% semolina. This is for you use for like cavatelli, bracciatelli, orecchietti. It's basic, like kind of like your basic doughs. Then you have option two, which is going to be flour and egg. And the recipe for this is pretty easy. It's for every 100 grams of flour, it's one entire egg. So pretty simple. That I like to use for my ravioli doughs. All right. And then the last one is 100% egg yolk dough. And the recipe for this is for every one egg yolk, it's 1 gram of flour. So this one's gonna be super rich, and this is what I like to use to make spaghetti, tagliatelle, anything that we're using hand cut wise, pappardelle. It's fantastic. We're gonna start with the semolina one though, and then we're gonna do them all separate. So, well method, center. Water in the center. And then no better utensil than your hands. As soon as it starts coming together a little bit more and you have that little sludgy consistency going, we'll start really working it with our hands. So now that you know that this dough is really not going to, or the water's not going to run all over the place, now we can start incorporating with our hands. Just like that. And then you bring it all in together. And then you start to knead. Once all the flour is incorporated, you start to knead the dough. And you normally just do this kneading process for about 10 minutes. And then when you're done kneading, you end up with this really nice dough. It's already starting to incorporate, as you can see. And you can do that for about 10 minutes, all right? I'm gonna set this one aside. We'll work on the other ones. This one for my ravioli, super simple, same thing. Flour in the middle of the table, create your well. 2 whole eggs, so it's 1 egg for every 100 grams of flour. Break your egg yolks, same process, using your hands. Incorporate. No better utensil than your fingers. Start incorporating flour in. So the only flour we use, guys, is semolina and 00. We don't use any other flour for our pastas. There's no need for any other flour for pastas. This is the only flour you should be using. Alright, really start to incorporate all that flour in.
What's the difference between a semolina and an all-purpose?
Well, our all-purpose is normally bleached and it's got a fine ground to it, where the semolina is a little bit more of a coarser ground. Really start to incorporate all this flour. egg off your hand. And in the same method as before, we're going to really start to knead this. So every once in a while, you may need a touch of water. So we're going to add a little bit of water to this. Because not every egg is the same size, right? This is going to make our lives a little easier now. Get the rest of this flour up. Now you can really start kneading. This for about 7 to 10 minutes. You can already see the dough starting to turn into a really nice dough. And once you let it rest, so all of our flour, all of our dough needs to rest for at least half an hour, it'll start to relax and all of these little divots will go away. So that's dough number 2. Dough number 3, 00, again. Same idea with the well, egg yolks inside. So this one I really like because we use it for tagliatelle, spaghetti, pappardelle, and I really like that style of pasta. So this one again is 1 gram for every gram, 1 gram of egg yolk for every gram of flour. This one's gonna be super rich. The better quality eggs, the better this pasta turns out to be, the brighter color it turns out to be. We're using just regular eggs today, but a lot of times we'll buy really nice farm fresh eggs, and these things are like, the dough is like a bright yellow. It's beautiful. This one, the best idea is going to be to use a bench scraper. Bench scraper, start pulling all that in. Incorporate it, start chopping all that flour into the egg. Same idea, start incorporating with your hands. This dough is a lot more pliable. It's good because that pasta, when you're doing spaghetti and you're doing tagliatelle, you have a tendency to pull on it a little bit more, and the elasticity from this pasta is amazing compared to, say, the one with the egg whites in it as well, or the semolina. And that's the egg, the 100% egg yolk that does that. Get all this off your hands. This is all the stuff you want in your pasta. And then same idea, we're gonna knead the crap out of this thing for a little while. beautiful that is. So here's the 3 different types you can already see. Now we're gonna rest them, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after they're done resting. All right, guys, so these are the last, this is them after they rested for about 30 minutes. So here is your semolina one. Here is the one that we use for ravioli, and this is your 100% egg yolk dough. Perfect.